Rabbinic tradition teaches that the Hebraic month of Elul is a time when the king is in the field. In this episode, we'll discover what it means to come under the covering of Yeshua, Jesus, our King and kinsman Redeemer. During this month of Elul, I've been meditating on the story of Ruth. This is a beautiful picture of Yeshua and his bride, the church, here portrayed as Boaz, the Hebrew kinsman redeemer, and Ruth, the Moabite woman who is a Gentile. In chapter 3, Ruth sits at the feet of Boaz and makes a supplication. She says in verse 9, "I am Ruth, your servant girl. Spread your cover, or the corner of your garment, or your wings, over me." This was a humble request for the protection of marriage. But what is this garment that Ruth was speaking of? Torah-observant Jews were commanded to wear garments that had fringes on the end. This fringe is called the tzitzit, or the tzitzot. It is symbolic of the commandments of the law. This was supposed to be a reminder of the necessity to keep the law in daily life. Of course, Yeshua fulfilled the law, and he is the living Word of God. The hem of the garment, which Ruth was referring to, is called the kanaf, which means wing, edge, border, or corner. The kanaf is symbolic of the wings of the cherubim that cover the mercy seat. This same word for wing is used in Psalm 91 when it describes the benefits of abiding under the shadow of the Most High God. Verse 4 says, "He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge." In addition to mercy and refuge, we also find healing under the covering of Yeshua. Malachi prophesied of this Messiah when he said in chapter 4, "To you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness shall arise with healing in his wings." In the Gospel, there's a story of a woman with the issue of blood, which she endured for 12 long years. Surely she would have known about this prophecy, and when she heard that Yeshua was nearby, her faith was supercharged because she knew if she touched the hem of his garment, that she would be healed. Her faith in Yeshua made her whole. The Word of God also reveals that Yeshua has covered our nakedness. Immediately after the fall of man in Genesis, Adam and Eve realized their nakedness. This initial awareness of their lack was followed by shame. It wasn't enough to merely cover themselves with fig leaves. God had to make the first animal sacrifice to cover them adequately. Yeshua later became that sacrifice for us, and he covered our shame with his glory. In Ezekiel 16, the Lord addresses Israel the way a husband would speak to his bride about entering into a marriage covenant. "When I passed by you again and looked upon you, indeed your time was the time of love. So I spread my wing over you and covered your nakedness. Yes, I swore an oath to you and entered into a covenant with you, and you became mine." This is the time of love, and our King, Yeshua, is in our field. Just as Ruth sat at the feet of Boaz, we can also sit at the feet of Yeshua and ask him to cover us with his garment of mercy, shelter, healing, and restoration. As our kinsman redeemer and as our husband, he desires to cover us with his heavenly garment and envelop us with mercy, love, and glory. Thank you for watching. I'm Jamie Becca.